They believed they were interrogating a defenseless human. Instead, they activated Protocol 7 and doomed their fleet. Commander Zephar's tendrils curled in thin spirals of impatience as he stared down the fragile, bound creature before him. The human sat calmly at the center of Dominion's edge, arms restrained, posture relaxed, expression disturbingly casual, like he'd wandered into a coffee shop instead of the flagship dreadnought of the Korani fleet. "So," Zethar hissed, his voice steeped in the smugness of centuries of conquest, "this is what the mighty Terran Federation sends? A single diplomat?" He gestured mockingly toward Marcus Kane. Small, pink, weaponless, unremarkable. And yet, he watched, eyes sharp, unblinking, studying every motion with clinical precision. "A single human," Zethar sneered. "How quaint." Around the bridge, officers from a dozen races worked nervously. Monitors flickered, systems hummed, yet everyone, consciously or not, kept glancing back to the immobile figure in the interrogation chair. Something about the human didn't compute. Zethar paced slowly, circling the prisoner like a predator entertaining itself. "I've never understood the obsession with your species. Deathworlders, they call you, as though surviving a hostile planet somehow makes you special." Marcus Kane's mouth twitched. "You've no idea how special," he replied calmly. No defiance, no pleading, just disturbingly tranquil honesty. Zethar's secondary eyes narrowed. By now, most captives would be crying or citing diplomatic immunity. Not this one. "You're aboard a vessel that's reduced systems to ash," Zethar barked. "Your Earth is encircled by the largest armada in history. And you are completely alone." Marcus's gaze never wavered. "Am I?" That slight smile returned, sharper now. Zethar felt an involuntary step backward. "Yes," Zethar snapped. "Your ship was obliterated, your escorts terminated. You're a relic, a leftover." Marcus tilted his head, curious. "Fascinating, isn't it? How two species can witness the same moment and see radically different things." "I see a captured diplomat," Zethar growled. "I see something else entirely." Bridge chatter dipped into near silence. Technicians paused mid-keystroke. The tension had become a weight. "Enough," Zethar snarled. "Tell me your fleet's staging coordinates, or beg for the mercy of a quick death." Marcus laughed softly. It wasn't manic, it wasn't rebellious. It was amused. "Commander," he said, "you really should have studied a bit more before trying intimidation." Zethar's fury ignited. His arm lashed out, a clean strike across the prisoner's cheek. The slap echoed across the bridge. Marcus barely flinched. Instead, he turned back, eyes bright with something far worse than resistance. Satisfaction. "5," Marcus said quietly. Zethar blinked. "5 what?" "5 seconds, Commander. That's how long you have left." The bridge froze. The smile was no longer polite. It was predatory. Zethar's instinct, buried deep under decades of arrogance, whispered something he hadn't felt since youth. Fear. 4, Marcus continued, voice as calm as if announcing tea time. "What are you babbling about?" 4 seconds. Not minutes, not hours. Seconds. Marcus's eyes remained locked.
When I said 5 seconds, I wasn't referring to myself. The bridge crew stirred uneasily. Kellar's 3 eyes blinked rapidly. Morton's scales turned green with panic. Even Crickstow, the silent weapons officer, tightened his grip. "Sir," Kellar ventured, "maybe we should—" "Silence!" Zethar snapped, but his voice cracked. Interrupting again, Marcus said, 3. Zethar snarled, "Your mind games are pathetic." "Honestly, Zethar," Marcus said with a shrug, "I thought the reports about your species' arrogance were exaggerated. Turns out they were spot on." Zethar's stomach twisted. Marcus wasn't afraid. Marcus was anticipating. "What is Protocol 7?" whispered Officer Voxani. Marcus looked toward her, smiling wider now. "Oh, that's a very good question." He leaned forward just slightly. "Protocol 7 is what happens when a Terran diplomat is assaulted during active negotiations." "There are no negotiations," Zethar barked. "You're a prisoner." "Am I?" "Funny thing about diplomatic immunity," Marcus Kane said quietly. "You don't just cancel it, and when you strike a diplomat during a sanctioned peace mission..." He leaned forward ever so slightly. "That's what we humans call a declaration of war." The hum of Dominion's edge filled the silence. Consoles beeped faintly, but the bridge itself, once a hive of precision, had fallen still. Even the ambient comms chatter faded into static quiet. 2, Marcus added. His voice grew softer and sharper. "I hope you've enjoyed your career, Commander. 3 centuries of conquest, wasn't it?" Zethar's tentacles twitched uncontrollably. Rage? No. Fear. It settled like ice beneath his carapace. "You're bluffing," he hissed. "Your kind are primitives, Deathworld savages clinging to pipe dreams and outdated weapons." Marcus's smile widened, predatory now. 1. "Oh, Commander, you're about to learn how dangerous delusion can be." He mouthed the final word. 0. For 3 heartbeats, nothing happened. Then, everything did. Technical Officer Voxani's antenna, hyper-tuned for electromagnetic shifts, jerked wildly. "Commander," she said tightly, "massive energy spikes, multiple readings, contact signatures, everywhere." Zethar barked. "Impossible! We'd detect ships light years away. We have the most advanced sensor grid in the fleet." "Sir," Voxani whispered, her voice rising in disbelief, "they're not approaching, they're already here." Marcus, still bound, still seated, kept smiling. "You know, it's always fun watching advanced civilizations realize their best tech was built to detect everything but us." Zethar snarled. "What do you mean?" Emergency alerts cascaded across the bridge. Unknown energy signatures detected, ghost contacts flooding sensor array, Hall stress rising, gravitational anomalies present. The crew snapped into chaos. Morton, the comms tech, turned deep crimson with panic. "Sir, we're receiving transmission requests, but they're coming from nowhere." Marcus nodded. "That's not nowhere. That's a human stealth field. We didn't hide from your sensors. We convinced them they were looking at something boring." Navigation Officer Coulthar's eyes flashed like warning lights. "Commander, gravitational readings just spiked. It's like ships are appearing out of vacuum. Massive ships." Zethar barked. "That's impossible." Nothing is impossible when you're raised on a planet that tries to murder you every morning. On Earth, we have a saying, necessity is the mother of invention. And necessity's favorite child. He paused. Weaponized creativity. Alerts accelerated. Reality bent around Dominion's edge. Multiple dreadnought-class vessels at point-blank range, weapon systems powering up. We are surrounded. Voxani's voice cracked. Sir, I count 47, no, 63. It's jumping, but they're everywhere. Silent, but locked on. 63? Zethar tasped. That's impossible. Your mistake is assuming humans would fight fair, Marcus said gently. Your mistake.
The main display blinked once, then filled with shapes, terrible, angular shapes. Stealth fields fell like dominoes. Human dreadnoughts emerged from nothing, massive, predatory. Engine glow lit their weapon arrays like restrained gods. These, Marcus continued, aren't cargo freighters dressed as warships. This is the fleet you never believed existed. Zathar's throat tightened. When you struck me, Marcus said, eyes locked, you didn't hit a prisoner. You activated Protocol 7. And Protocol 7 broadcasts one message to every human vessel within 50 light-years. Zathar trembled. What message? He whispered. Marcus smiled, all warmth gone. Kill them all. The display exploded in motion, terrifying, beautiful, dreadnoughts encircling the Korani fleet with silent, glowing wrath. Weapons Officer Crixto's voice cracked. By the 7 moons! They're everywhere! But Marcus wasn't watching the display anymore. His eyes were fixed on Zathar, on the arrogance unraveling into dread. Next time, Marcus said softly, read the fine print on Earth's diplomatic protocols. The ships loomed larger now, each one easily twice the size of Dominion Edge, and yet they moved not with brute force, but with chilling elegance. Their movements had grace, an elegance that didn't belong to exploration vessels. This was predatory design. Technology beyond anything the Korani Empire had ever imagined. Morton's scales had shifted from panic red to a sickly bone white. "Commander," he croaked, "incoming transmission from the lead vessel. It's addressed to you." Zathar's tentacles curled involuntarily. "Put it through," he rasped. The bridge speakers crackled, and then came the voice. Clear, calm, human. "This is Commander Sarah Mitchell of the Terran Federation ship Retribution. You are surrounded and outgunned. I am offering you one exact chance to surrender." Zathar's instincts failed him. This couldn't be real. Intelligence reports insisted humanity had fewer than 20 interstellar vessels. Marcus Kane laughed softly beside him. "Oh, those reports were accurate. We do have fewer than 20 vessels built for travel. These," Marcus gestured toward the vast display of war machines, "aren't for travel." Vakani blinked rapidly. "Then what are they?" "Warships," Marcus said pleasantly. "Not built for colonization, not for trade, but for killing anything that threatens Earth." Commander Mitchell's voice returned, colder this time. "Commander Zathar, your silence is considered refusal. I'm going to count to 10. When I reach 0, you'll understand what a very bad idea it was to assault a Terran diplomat." The countdown began. Zathar panicked. Wait! I was following standard procedures. He showed no distress." Oh, I wasn't distressed. I was exactly where I needed to be. You see, Commander, you just gave us the one thing we've wanted since joining the Galactic community. What? He breathed. A reason. Mitchell's countdown echoed across the bridge like drums of war. 10, 9, 8. Zathar buckled. We can negotiate. I'll release the prisoner. Withdraw the fleet. Name your terms. 7, 6, 5. Zathar cried out. Please, please, mercy. We'll leave. 4, 3, 2. Marcus Kane softly. We don't negotiate with anyone who hits us first. 1. The last thing Zathar saw was Marcus Kane's smile. Unchanged, predatory, peaceful. Then came no plasma fire. Instead, a low hum, deep, resonant, vibrating through atoms. The bridge shimmered, the air twisted, and then they arrived. Perfect formation, black combat armor, weapons thrumming like contained supernovas. They moved like death. No words, no noise. A calm voice echoed. Secure the bridge. Non-lethal takedown for all personnel except the target. Marcus turned toward the figure now stepping forward. Captain Morrison, he said brightly, right on time. Morrison's helmet retracted with a hiss. The face beneath, stone-hewn. No smile, no rage, just calculation. His voice was quiet, final. Commander Zathar, by order of the Terran Federation and under the authority of Protocol 7. Commander Zathar, you are charged with assaulting a diplomatic representative during active negotiations. How do you plead? Zathar's veneer of command shattered completely. This is madness, he shrieked. You can't just board a sovereign vessel and hold a trial. There are laws, protocols. The Galactic Council will never stand for this. Morrison remained still, unbothered. The Council voted unanimously to grant humanity full enforcement rights over diplomatic immunity through any means necessary. That vote was cast 3 days ago, right after we informed them of your fleet's movements. The Terran operatives swept through the bridge with brutal precision, weapons steady, movements measured. But what shocked the alien crew wasn't their firepower, it was their restraint. These weren't the savage berserkers from propaganda reels. They were professionals, disciplined, efficient, silent. Zathar, now visibly trembling, collapsed into a whimpering plea. I was following orders, standard interrogation protocol. I didn't mean disrespect. You struck a diplomat, Morrison said coldly. In human culture, that's not just an insult, it's an act of war. Zathar's nerve fractured. He scrambled behind comm specialist Morton, claws shaking, trying to use the crewman as a living shield. Don't let them take me! Protect your commander! No one moved. Even in self-preserving cultures, sacrificing a subordinate for safety, was universally reviled. Officers turned away, recoiled. Pathetic, Morrison muttered. Not angry, just disappointed. Marcus, he said, without looking, is this really the best the Korani Empire could send?
Marcus Kane shrugged, almost apologetically. 3 centuries of easy victories dulled the senses. They forgot what it means to face actual resistance. Morrison raised his weapon, quietly humming with caged power. Commander Zathar, you have been found guilty. The sentence is death. Execution immediate. Wait! Zathar screamed. I have information! Strategic data! I'll give you fleet maps, plans, anything! We already have it, Morrison replied calmly.
Your files were infiltrated 30 seconds ago. Our cyber teams don't miss. The weapon fired. No fanfare, no light show. Just a sharp ripple through the air as reality parted for one precise second. Zethar's head dropped to the deck. His cowardice ended in silence. Nobody spoke. The crew stared, not just at the corpse, but at the humans who had delivered judgment with surgical detachment. No gloating, no hate, just execution. 5 seconds, Marcus Kane said, softly looking down. I told him how long he had. He exhaled once, calm. Humans are nothing if not punctual. Captain Morrison's helmet resealed. Cleanup complete, ready for extraction. Then, like ghosts in reverse, they vanished. Only the smell of ozone remained, and the body of a commander who learned too late that some species simply don't forgive. The news traveled faster than light, rippling across quantum networks and hyperspace relays to every major outpost in the galaxy. Footage of a headless commander, a human fleet that emerged from nothing. Protocol 7, activated, executed, broadcasted. The Galactic Council on Nexus Prime spiraled into chaos. Hundreds of species flooded the chamber with outrage and disbelief. The emergency session opened within minutes, acoustics trembling under political hysteria. "This is barbarism," roared Ambassador Kulixter, feathers puffed in fury. "Execution without trial, violating sovereign borders. These humans are savages." Council Speaker Vorthani responded with measured gravitas. The trial was conducted per diplomatic protocols, which this council unanimously approved 3 days ago. Zixnal of the Trade Federation sputtered. It was a formality. Nobody expected them to actually use it. Then the display activated. One figure stepped forward, Ambassador Elena Vasquez. Small, calm, human. Her eyes swept the assembly not with apology, but clarity. "Honored delegates," she began, "I'm not here to apologize. I'm here to clarify." A ripple of unease rippled across the hall. No remorse, only revelation. For decades, you labeled us Deathworlders, as though our origin was trivia instead of identity. You treated us like crude newcomers, primitive, disposable, and we, she smiled faintly, we let you. Because it helped us build. While you mocked our ships as simplistic, we developed technologies that would make your best engineers weep. While you dismissed our patrol craft, we constructed a fleet designed with only one purpose: to ensure no one ever threatens Earth again. Subcommander Volar of the Korani stood trembling with rage and grief. You destroyed 73 vessels, killed millions, all over one slap? No, Elena Vasquez said. You destroyed 73 vessels because you brought them to our border with intent to commit genocide. The slap, Elena Vasquez said, was merely the excuse we needed, an invitation to demonstrate what happens when someone threatens humanity. The chamber erupted. Shock rippled across the Galactic Council's dome as murmurs turned to chaos. The true purpose of the Korani fleet was supposed to be classified, known only to the highest echelons of government. But the humans had known. Elena stood steady beneath the towering gaze of countless delegates. "You want to know how?" she asked, voice sharp with certainty. "We watched you, all of you, for 5 years. There hasn't been a military maneuver, a political whisper, or a war game we didn't intercept." A stunned hush returned. Did they really think that a species forged in planetary hostility would entrust its survival to interstellar diplomacy? Representative Morcath of the scientific collective leaned forward, his multiple eyes blinking. "Are you claiming your intelligence infrastructure exceeds ours?" Elena offered a smile that wasn't quite friendly. "Not claiming, stating. On a Deathworld, evolution doesn't select for optimism. It selects for pattern recognition, threat assessment, preemptive action." General Crixmore of the hegemony strained to rise, glaring through decades of military tradition. "Even if that's true, no species could support such a fleet. You don't have the raw trade data. It's impossible." Elena didn't blink. "Correct. Earth doesn't. But space? Asteroids? Terraforming zones? Black market manufactories outside your regulated economy. We learned how to build quietly, without your permission." The room staggered beneath the implication. Humanity hadn't just hidden a fleet. They'd constructed an entire shadow civilization. Mining operations, off-grid colonies, industrial capacity unlike anything the Council had quantified. They weren't late bloomers. They were quiet architects. The age of underestimating humanity is over. We are not the primitives you mistook us for. We are apex predators. We kill what threatens us. We always have. And thanks to Commander Zethar's demonstration of diplomacy. She paused. Everyone knows. Silence reclaimed the chamber. What had once been a forum of global balance now sounded like prey, processing their new place in the ecosystem.
Anyone still clinging to the label of primitive Deathworlders found themselves mysteriously shut out. Humanity wasn't demanding supremacy, they demanded civility. And got it. "Hey, you hear the latest Marcus Kane story?" David asked, that mix of awe and reverence humans reserve for their quiet icons. Voxani's antenna perked up. "What now?" "Walked into a hegemony trade summit, corrected their math, restructured their economy mid-negotiation. They thanked him." The legend continued to evolve. Some species whispered he saw the future, others swore he bent probability. But Voxani had seen him in silence, counting down, bound, calm. Not divine, just human. "I still can't believe how composed he was," she murmured. "Like he wasn't just counting seconds, he was announcing dinner plans." David's turned, expression deepening. "We're not fearless. We're just really good at being afraid and doing what needs to be done anyway." The words stayed with her, long after the stars rotated, long after Marcus Kane vanished into myth, long after the galaxy learned that underestimating humanity has a countdown. In the months since Dominion Edge fell silent, Officer Voxani had worked alongside dozens of humans. What she discovered unsettled her, not because of their technology, although it was elegant and terrifying, not because of their military force, though it was vast and unrelenting. It was their mindset, their refusal to be intimidated, even by death itself. "Do you think the galaxy will ever truly understand your species?" she asked one afternoon. David Park, her human research partner, considered the question thoughtfully. "Probably not, but that's okay.
You don't need to understand someone to cooperate with them. You just need to respect them. Before Voxani could respond, the console chimed. Incoming transmission. The display lit up with the image of Ambassador Elena Vasquez, now head of the newly formed Human Affairs Committee, a title that carried more weight than the Galactic Constitution itself. Her voice was warm, familiar. Officer Voxani, I hope you're ready for another collaboration. We've developed a new method of faster-than-light communication, and we'd like to share it with our allies. Voxani exchanged a glance with David. Another Terran innovation, another gift freely offered, but only to those who earned it. The galaxy learned the calculus. Being on humanity's good side wasn't just preferable, it was essential. Of course, Ambassador, Voxani replied. We're always eager to learn from our Terran partners. As the communication ended, Voxani leaned back in her chair and reflected about how everything had changed, about the slap that rewrote diplomacy, about the moment Commander Zythar turned his fleet into history's most expensive footnote. The galaxy had learned what it meant to underestimate humans from a world that never stops trying to kill them. And some lessons, she thought, are better learned by watching, not surviving. Humanity didn't rewrite the rules. They reminded the galaxy that survival is always earned. If Protocol 7 stirred something in you, curiosity, awe, or chills, don't let the countdown end here. Subscribe to Mystic Nature Sci-Fi for more cinematic HFY shorts, war diplomacy sagas, and world building built on respect and razor-edge reckoning. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Marcus Kane be feared, followed, or understood? What lesson will the galaxy forget next? Like, share, watch closely, because the next slap might not come from a hand, it might come from a diplomat's smile.